Hey, Greg.
Hey, we on live.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. This is Gregory saying, the host of RRGBC, that comes on to you weekly, 8 o'clock every Wednesday, God willing, every Wednesday. And we have Denise, who is one of the co-founders of this organization. And we're going to hear from Denise, and then I'm going to come back to you all. Denise is going to give an introduction of the mission of RRGBC and give you some information on why it's so important to support this amazing mission, cause, and absolutely ministry. So go ahead, Denise, and I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. We want to thank you for coming tonight to our podcast. We present every week. I will say, we have been having some technical difficulties. We do have a guest coming in tonight, but he is having some difficulties getting connected. So hopefully we can get him on. But we came together to try and save our communities. And we feel by doing that, we need to uplift our Black businesses in our communities. It is so important that we do this. So the dollars that we raise, as I impart to you every Wednesday night, will go to support the Black businesses, to help them in different ways, and to help them to improve their daily operations, to improve their decorum, to improve their relationships with their employees and their employees' relationships with the public. We're also working on some public policies. And one of the public policies that we're working to address is our bookstores. We should have Black books in our bookstores. And our Black bookstores are working really hard to stay afloat. I was speaking earlier with Brother Sekou at Frontline Books, and Frontline has been a staple for the Black community for decades. There have been different owners there, and they have been so instrumental in bringing material that we need to know in our communities, in our schools. And Frontline is struggling right now. They're having some difficulties, and we're asking that you give all of our bookstores some support, but especially let's wrap our arms around Frontline Books. Brother Sekou is offering some packages for those people who are able to give donations, where you can also receive a package of books as a gift from them for your donations. So please contact Brother Sekou at Frontline. Go by and visit, and do what you can to support them. And because knowledge is power. And that's where we're getting our information. Many of us have come from decades where we didn't get Black history in our schools. We didn't get it until we got to college. And once we heard this information, we were so in awe. I remember my first Black history class, there wasn't enough room for people to sit in the classroom because of the interest in the knowledge that was being imparted. We're also supporting our Black banks. We have the Southside Community Federal Credit Union, located at 54th and Wentworth, that we are supporting. We're asking that you go there and make deposits. As you make deposits into these banks, then the banks are able to create more money. They're able to provide more loans, but we have to support them. We have our bookstore of the month is the Underground Bookstore, located at 87th Street, just east of Stony Island. Brother Yoel is the proprietor of Underground Bookstore, and we're asking you to support him. And he has a list of must-reads, and he has chosen for our book giveaway the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. And so that's the book that we will be giving away. And if you want to have an opportunity to win that book, all you have to do is go to RRGBC's website and subscribe. That's all we're asking. That is our gift to you. The young lady that we had on our podcast from Gone Again Travel, she is having a festival next Saturday, September the 11th. And this is to support taking children over to Ghana and the efforts that she has going on. So that's just some of the things that we have on the table. So I want to thank you again for coming tonight. And I'm doing the technical end, so be a little patient with me tonight, but I'm going to try and bring Brother Gregory Sane and our guest, Brother Javid Jenkins, to you. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Denise, for that great introduction about the real mission and purpose of this organization. And folks, if we have never ever needed a organization like this, then we've never needed one before. This is a crucial time for us, and repairing, restoring, and growing Black businesses, and really supporting. We're being forced right now. We are all being forced to do for self. Some have been doing for self for a long time, and that's why I'm proud to have this brother on the show that is a absolutely do for self brother. You know, when I saw the name, there's been a few guests that I have came in contact with and know one way or the other, and I was always emceeing this autism fair for Elaine, and I think this brother volunteers his time for the autism event. He's done it, I know, a couple of times, and he has an amazing, awesome workout. I had to drop the mic a couple of times. I mean, he put that music on, and Brother Java was getting it, man. And Sister Renita, who I been knowing all for a long time. I met Renita before she got into helpness, even before she got into the police department. I mean, really, really amazing sister. But this brother right here is a gift from God. You know, it's one thing to talk about health and wellness, but when you have the spirit, and this is a mission for you, not just because he makes money, but he really believes in the transformation of human beings. He believes in that. I've watched him. He dedicates, he donates, he volunteers, he show up to make a difference. And yeah, he gets clients, and he should get clients, but that is not his goal always, is to make money, but his goal is to change lives, lifestyles, and etc. So Brother Java, my main man, finally got you on here. We've been waiting, man, and so happy to see you. How you feel?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing very well. Thank you so much. It's my honor and privilege to be here with you tonight.
Brother Java, how long have you been into health and fitness, exercise, and the whole gamut?
As a business, Getting Better Fitness will be 9 years old.
Beautiful. Wow, 9 years old. What were you doing? Tell us your story before let's hear your story and what made you become this man into fitness. Because you know a lot of people driving trucks, working for banks, doing whatever. What's the driving motivation and force in going in this lane?
Thank you. That's a very good question that you just asked. The story is not like anyone else's story. It's mine, and I own it, and I love it because it's what makes me who I am today, and gives me the empathy that I have for my clients. Prior to opening Getting Better Fitness, I was an insurance salesman. I was in sales. I sold everything from cars to houses, mortgages, you name it. It was if it could be sold, I've sold. And the financial crash happened, as you know, many of us were affected by that. And during that time, I was very depressed because, you know, I wasn't able to earn a living for my family. And it really bothered. We ended up having, we lost our house, we lost two income properties, and we ended up having to move in with my father-in-law because the crash was just that heavy and that hard. And during that time, while we were living with him, I ballooned up to 360 pounds. And it was just because I was eating everything.
360 pounds?
I was soothing myself through food, you know.
Oh, I
And
know.
we I started selling insurance and we got out of my father-in-law's home. But then I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, something needs to change. But then something happened. My baby girl, my daughter, she got sick. And when she got sick, she had a rare case of pneumonia. And we had to go to the hospital. She had to have surgery. Stayed in the hospital for a whole week. And while we were in the hospital, I got sick during that time because when you're overweight, you're not in shape, your body breaks down very fast from stress or anything like that. I got pneumonia, my body broke down, and I got sick. So I told my wife, I said, we get out of this hospital, I'm not going to ever lay down like this ever again. And that's what started my journey. That was over 10 years.
Beautiful.
So I started working out in my living room, just doing tapes and videos, working out, bad knees, bad back, bad feet, everything. You know, I got all the issues that other people have. So it can be done. So I'm working out and I started dropping the weight. And I'm a very transparent person, Gregory. I put everything on social media. Hey, this is what I'm working out today. This is what I'm eating today. And eventually people started gravitating to my posts, asking me, what are you eating today? What kind of workout are you doing today? And I started inviting folks. Well, I'm going to be at the beach, 63rd Street Beach today. Anybody want to come work out with me? Meet 5 or 6 people meet me. I'm running up and down the beach with them, and we're just doing stuff. Next thing you know, it started turning into more people. I started getting more questions about what am I eating and what changes did I make to lose the weight. And it was fielding a lot of my day. And I realized I'm like, okay, my insurance job is slacking right now because I'm doing so much of this. And so eventually I said, well, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to get myself some certifications and prepare for this so that I can be ready. And I got my cert and I talked to my manager at the time. And I said, hey, listen, I know that I'm like one of your top sales guys, but I need to take a couple of months off. I want to try this, you know, try to see if I can make this work. And she told me straight up, she said, I can't wait for you to chase this little dream of yours. So I can't promise you this now.
Oh, boy.
I'm not the type of person to give ultimatums. So my wife, she said, if you think you can do it, I trust you. And so I quit my job. And that was over 9 years ago. And I have been working this business ever since. And it was the best thing I could have done in my life. Keep myself healthy, I keep myself accountable. I fed my family from this business since that time. And we were struggling before that. Once we got into this, we've been becoming more and more financially free. And, you know, we purchase a home again, purchase vehicles. We're back to doing what we're normally doing before all that other stuff happened. And so in that time, my business, Getting Better Fitness, has become one of the largest Black-owned gyms in the city.
Wow. All praises due to God, man. That's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful story. I mean, really, I am so proud of your will, man, your wife, for believing in you.
Yes.
A lot of people leave you during tough times, or if not leave you physically, they leave you emotionally, and they don't have the confidence. And it sounds like you have a good wife and your daughter. I'm so thankful too that the Creator, through his divine intervention and for the operation, the surgery, from the condition she had, and she's doing okay.
She's doing great. She's in sophomore high school now, and
Oh, good.
been in musicals and plays, and she's great. No
Good,
problem.
good, good. Look, what did you tell them in the beginning? And we'll talk business in a minute because
Okay.
I love your story. Because we could talk business and you can tell people how many employees you got,
Sure.
etc., and all of that. But what did you tell the people regarding your diet? When you left, did you change your diet when you start shedding the pounds? What did you do?
So
How extreme was it?
here's my philosophy around eating properly. And again, every trainer, every doctor, everyone into fitness and dietary supplements and things like that has a different philosophy. This is mine, and it has worked for me and my clients. I don't believe in telling people to stop doing anything cold turkey. If you have a food addiction, whether it's sugar addiction, salt addiction, grease, fried food, whatever your addiction is, I never tell anyone to stop cold turkey because that didn't work for me. Every time I stop cold turkey, by the end of the week, I'm binging whatever.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I found success by cutting out one thing at a time and mastering that, getting that out of my system, and then moving to another. So when I first started my journey, the first thing that I wanted to cut out was saturated fats because that was me. Now it could be different for anyone. Pick that one thing that you find the easiest thing to give away, give up, and beat that. And you keep leveling up until you get to the one thing that has you ripped and bound. Uh, and for me, it was sugar. Sugar was the last. It was the last thing that I had to conquer. So I was able to got rid of the saturated fats, no fried foods. Took some time to do that. Got that out. Stop with the bread. Took a little time. Stop with the white pasta. That took a little time. And eventually, I got to the point where I was ready to tackle that sugar. And once I tackled the sugar, honestly, I should have did that first because the sugar was the thing that was holding so much of the weight on me, but it was the thing that I loved the most. So I had
Don't we all?
right. So I had to fight that. And once I got all that down, and it was okay. So that's why I tell people, pick one thing and master being without that.
So you don't. But now, since you're working out and you have it under control, so do you have it in moderation now, or you just done with it?
No, moderation, yes. I mean, my wife
Good.
she loves to bake. There's always some baked goods in this house. So literally, there's the cake up there on that
So
counter.
now you discipline. You get like a thin piece, and now you don't hear the voice of the cake calling you anymore. Remember, before then, the cake actually had power over you, right?
It did.
Even when you went to the refrigerator to get some water, you could hear the cake saying, you want to stop over here and just get another thin slice. Don't get a real big one, but that's your 10th thin one, which is equivalent to 3 big pieces.
Right. May as well just go ahead and get a big piece. My advice about food. Pick something.
So Brother Java, what's the big? Give us your business plan. Did you have a business plan when you went into this? I mean, I know after the folks started coming over, giving you support, then you stopped and decided to turn this into a business. Talk about that.
So when I first started doing this, I was still 300 pounds when I first started because it was
you
like
300 pounds out there on the lakefront.
I was still when I first started my business, and that actually drew a lot of ire from a lot of other trainers. I'm an old head in the business in the fitness realm now after being in this thing for almost 10 years, and I've seen a lot of trainers come and go. So I consider myself a veteran in it now. So I can speak on some things. So whenever somebody new pops up, unfortunately, the training community is very small in Chicago and it's very cutthroat. And I'm not going to bite my tongue about it. I don't have to because my business is established. I can tell the truth. And the truth is it's very cutthroat. So if you're a 300-pound trainer and you're out on the beach with 10 or 15 people and you all are running up and down the beach and you're struggling together, that's what resonated with my clients, that I'm struggling with you and we're going through this together. But when you're the ex-military guy or the ex-football guy or the ex-cheerleader that's always been in shape and never have had food struggle, and you see this 300-pound trainer lumbering down the beach with his clients, you could either applaud us or you could slide up on my clients and say, hey, you know what you're doing with him? He's 300 pounds. He can't tell you how to get in shape, which is what happened. A lot of them slid up on my clients and was like, hey, you know, you don't want to train with nobody like that. You need to train with me, pulling up their shirt, showing their abs and stuff. And it was a rough go. So I was just, it was a weekend hobby. You know, I was doing that. And then I decided to try to do a little bit more, you know, do it 2 or 3 days a week. And my wife, again, none of this would be possible without her. Just make that clear. She let me have one of
believe me. That's why I brought her up, brother. I knew that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She let me have one of the bedrooms in our basement. They're like, here, you can turn this in and then do it. So I started personal training people in my basement in one little small bedroom. And they would show up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you know, and I would work them out. And it just started getting bigger and bigger. And at that point, I knew I needed something a little more stable. I needed to find a location because people were coming. Word of mouth, I was getting results for people. I was getting results for myself. And again, I'm a consummate salesman, so I'm always putting everything out in front. Here's what it is. Here's what we're doing. This is how it's going. And word of mouth just started. Okay, this guy, he's doing this stuff out of his basement, but you know, you don't have a problem with doing that, then you'll get a good trainer. So eventually it got to the point where we had gotten enough clients where I felt confident in renting space. And I went to 400 West 76th Street, Stewart Business Center. I rented a space that wasn't much bigger than the bedroom that I was training out of. And inside a year, we went from there to the space that we're in now, which is still in the same building, it's just a larger space. It's like, it's 6,000 square feet now.
Wow. Where is it located?
400 West 76th Street, right in the on the edge of Inglewood and Grand Crossing.
Oh, okay.
Old 18.
Is that right before you get under the viaduct?
Yep. Right after Vincennes, just before the viaduct.
Yeah, because I know a brother over there, Minister Banks.
Yeah, Minister Banks. That's my buddy. I see him every time we go in.
Yeah, the knock at midnight is inside that
And
building. Are you training insurance agent? No, I'm just kidding. I said, are you training down the insurance person that said they can't wait?
No, actually, I'm not, but I did have a run in with her some years ago, and she was like, I see you're all over the internet. I said, thank you for not letting me have my job.
I know that's right, brother. How many clients do you have now?
Well, let's go with pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
Okay,
so,
yes.
I would see in my boot camp classes, I would see anywhere between 40 and 50 people. And that I had 2 classes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon. Then I have 1 at noon and then 2 in the evening, 6:30 and 7:30. And I would see 40 to 50 people in my boot camp class. And then I would do personal training also. So I'd have a rotation of anywhere between 150 to 200 clients coming in and out of that gym every week. That was before the pandemic. And I also rent space to other trainers to run their business out of it. That's a whole other aspect of my business because
good.
Other trainers opportunity to grow. So between myself and the other trainers, we had about 250, 275 people rolling through that gym every week. Now, pandemic comes, of course, we had to shut down, which is why the other business started. But if you want to go there, we'll talk about that later. We shut it down and, struggled through that year to keep paying the rent because I didn't want to lose the space because I had a lot of stuff in it. So paid the rent, got everything good, came back last year, about September of last year, came back into the gym.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. We'll get to them. Yeah, we'll get to some of the questions.
Came back into the gym. So now we're running at about maybe 120 people a week rolling through the gym, and we're starting to slowly come back up. I could have more, but I don't allow people to come that are not vaccinated. Now, that's my own personal call for my business, for my family, and for everyone else around us. You have to be vaccinated to come in for right now because it's just safe. I know other people have political, and spiritual and all of that views on this thing. But that's for me and my business. In order to come in and work out with us.
Yeah, and people have to respect that.
Yeah.
Period. whichever way people go with it. But if you feel more comfortable and the clients that you have that will, keep you safe and etc., you have to go with it. And I think people who are not pro vaccine jab, then they're not going to come. They'll find a way to figure it out. Yeah. And God willing, within the next year or two, things will change and maybe it'll mutate and blah, blah, blah. And people be able to be more relaxed around each other, and everybody will have their immune system built up to where, it's just like the regular flu that comes year by year. So hopefully that's the ultimate goal. Now, what is the age range for the men and women that you're training?
Mm-hmm. We have everything from 12 to 75 come through.
Wow. 12 to 75. That's a nice wide range.
For everyone. So regardless of your age or your health situation, your knees, your back, whatever's going on, I have a modification for everyone.
Is it more women than men?
I do have more women than men. I do. Because I do more cardio and strength conditioning. A lot of guys, they like to just lift a bunch of heavy stuff, don't want to do no cardio.
I know the brothers like that, at the gym, they just want to lift the steel and can't run a mile.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I always tell them all the time, I said, there's nothing wrong with being able to knock down a brick wall. I want you to be able to knock down a brick wall for 2 days straight without stopping.
Okay, that's a big difference.
I want to condition you pounding that thing, and it'll you never wear out.
Are you inside of any schools? Do you do any kind of training for schools? I mean, after school, I know since the pandemic, if you were, so all of that has been, affected by.
I've been in several schools. A couple of Catholic schools. I was doing physical ed programs for them, that sort of thing. But again, when I opened up the location, it got a little bit redundant to leave and go somewhere else when I've got 6,000 square feet. So I figured it's a better business opportunity for me to stay put and grow where I'm planted. Now, before I rented the space, then I was all over the city. I was all the way up on the west side, Maywood, Mason Elementary School, South Side, everywhere, because I was willing to go where the clients.
Do you have any goals to expand at some point, or just
the pandemic? I had opened a second location. Literally, October of 2019, I opened a second location in the south suburb, right in Harvey, because I like going to underserved community.
That's right.
And then we closed that one because it was too hard to keep two things.
Oh, I can imagine.
I closed that one. I said, let me build this one back up to where it was, and then we'll open something else. But there is always a hope and a dream to have a more location.
And once things get back to some normalcy, I'm sure the people in Harvey would be blessed. And I'm sure they were very, very happy that you were, able to do that right there in Harvey. But yeah, someone said Java is awesome. And I agree. I've seen the brother in action. Trust me, we were the last place we was jumping around was the Comer over there on South Chicago. Yep. And I was down there with the mic jumping around. Every trainer came out there and did their thing, and I was out there trying to do my thing. But yeah, I love it because again, I've been into fitness. I never was a trainer, but I was doing it, taking some training, teaching aerobics many, many years ago, over 30 years ago. About at least 30 something years ago, I was teaching aerobics.
There's room for you.
Yeah, let this old man, you said you got him now, 75. I'm getting clean up. Well, I tell you what, I want to know more about it. So as a Black business and on 76th Street, how do you now get your clients? What are you on social media? word of mouth, etc.?
So social media is probably the best advertisement agency you could hire, because if you do it right, you don't spend a dime. Uh, Most, if not all, of my business, I would say 90% of it is word of mouth and social media. At this point, because I've been in this for so long, I have a good network of people that are always watching what I post. And when I post something about the gym, they just start popping. They just start popping. I have done some paid advertisement, but I've never gotten as much response from paid advertisement as I have from my word of mouth, my clientele. The results speak for themselves. Whenever I get somebody that's been in there for a good 90 days and I see a good change in them, I take a good picture, side by side, before, after, boom. Next thing you know, inbox. Hey, what can I do? How can I get involved?
Nice,
You know,
nice.
the word of mouth is the best thing. Now, I've been on radio a few times, interviews on radios and radio shows and things like that. But word of mouth has always been my go-to.
What do you recommend, as a fitness, I call you a fitness guru, because again, you've stayed in this game, and I mean, I love your staying power. I mean, that's a blessing from God, because as you said, a lot of folks, even before the pandemic, a lot of competition
Yep.
out there. And you mentioned cutthroat. But now you have a clientele that believe in you and you establish. So that's your least worry in terms of people trying to take your clients, because I'm sure it's all about the services that you render. Um, but as a Black business, and say in that office space, and that's why I mentioned Minister Banks, what other kind of networking do you do with other businesses to get them involved? I mean, do you all do some networking to kind of do, like some of their clients come to you and some of your clients go to them, or do you do any of that?
Well, again, since the pandemic, a lot of that has been stopped.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 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 yeah,
right,
yeah.
there has been several opportunities where I've done some cross training. Like I said, Knock at Midnight and some of the other ones in that building have come down and trained, and I've come up to them and done little talks or things like that, depending on what they're asking for. I've had a lot of the kids from the after school programs come in, for a quick session, a few giveaways. So I'm always trying to reach out into the community. But business to business, B2B, some of the stuff that I do, they have to come to me, and I'll come to their location if need. But lots of times prior to pandemic, I've had companies do a fitness day and come in there, bring their staff, and do uh, uh, leadership training, things like that. And yes.
Oh, great, great. So 9 years or 10 years and going.
It'll be 9 years in November.
Okay. And as you said before the pandemic, you wanted to expand in Harvey. Now that things are somewhat opening back up, and now that there's some other dynamics, even what you just mentioned it with the vaccinated people or non-vaccinated people, um, is that affecting business?
A little bit, a little bit. I have a segment of folks that really want to come back, and they're willing to wait on me until something changes, but they don't want the vaccine either. Um, so it has affected it a little bit, but we've figured out, managed how to work around it. And again, as big as this city is, there's enough clientele in whatever demographic you're working. If I say vaccinated only, there's enough people in that demographic that will come. If I say unvaccinated, you must wear masks, they'll come. We just have to figure out where that niche is, tap into it, and work with it. So we have seen some slowdown because we're not taking everybody, but at the same time, I'm in the process of trying to figure out how we can start easing other folks back in. But my commitment to my clients right now is that the ones that are there is that everybody I bring here is going to be vaccinated to protect you. Now, a lot of my clients, myself included, are caregivers to their elderly parents, things like that. So we can't run the risk of just being around everybody. So that is part of my commitment to my clients, that I'm going to keep this place as clean as I can.
Did you do any virtual classes?
We did do virtual classes during the pandemic. I haven't been doing any now, but if there's someone that wants to do virtual one-on-one, I'll do those. But we don't
Okay.
do virtual classes.
Yeah, I find them to be very difficult myself, as a person who I love, speaking in person to people. I mean, I've done some stuff over the internet, but it's not the same. It's just totally different.
My biggest problem with doing virtual classes. I like to be there with my energy doesn't translate through this when we're doing virtual training.
Now, you mentioned something else. You said if you want to go there, as far as you have another business that's connected to fitness.
No,
no.
it's not.
Is it something that should be discussed over the airwaves? No, I'm just kidding.
No. It's completely get clean.
No, I'm just, brother. Jaffa.
You never know.
I'm like, is it one of those kind of business ideas that we need to take a commercial after you just mentioned no? But go ahead. I mean, let's talk about it.
Here's what happened. Pandemic came. We shut down the gym. And honestly, prior to that, I was completely overworked. I was working from 6 in the morning to 9 o'clock at night, So I took that as an opportunity. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to rest. I wouldn't rest before this, so now I'm going to rest. So I sat at home for probably 3 months, just kind of doing stuff around the house and just relaxing. And I started getting bored. So I'm out in the yard and I'm working in my yard, cleaning it up, landscaping it and everything like that, getting it, beautifying my yard. And I'm posting pictures. And one of my fitness clients was like, hey, why don't you come do my yard? And I'm like, I don't do this for a living. I've never done that. I do my yard. I don't do anybody else's yard. And she's like, look, I've seen the pictures. I think you can do it. I'm like, okay, I'll try. Went over there, did the landscaping for her, trimmed the bushes, laid the rocks, put the borders up, all that kind of stuff, and posted a picture. And next thing you know, somebody's like, oh, you do that? Why don't you come over and do my yard? I'm like, okay. I came over, did that yard. Next thing you know, I'm like, okay, this is a business. This is something that I can do. I don't need any extra training for it. Give me a little insurance, some liability insurance, but I don't, this is something I can do. So I went and got some shirts made and got some business cards made and say, okay, everybody, until I'm able to get back to the gym, I'm a landscaper now.
Beautiful.
And last summer was ridiculous. I was working in a yard, maybe 2 yards a day, every day, except for weekend. Trimming, laying mulch. I wasn't cutting any grass at all. I was trimming bushes, laying mulch, building retaining walls, planting bulbs, things like that. And the thing this did for me, Gregory, is it gave me something to do to keep me active. It was a therapeutic situation because I didn't have to be around people.
Right.
And I was able to live for my family without risking COVID. So every day I would go out.
Nice.
I was working 2 yards a day, every day, all summer, and it was very, very good opportunity. So summer came to an end, and I was like, okay, well, that was cool. Made it through. That's when I opened the gym back up, went into the gym, and was content. I'm like, okay, that was just a little thing we could do to get over that hump. So summer, spring came around this year. All of a sudden, my phone started ringing. Hey, you doing yards again? You still doing yards? And I really didn't want to do it, but I'm like, may as well. So I'm doing both.
Beautiful.
Right now,
I got a buddy in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
He works. He was doing it. He was working for Brook Brothers selling suits, and then he kept selling his suits. But man, he does so many yards.
See?
I mean, he cannot at all catch a break. I mean, it's great business. He loved doing it, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it's a great idea, and it kept you going. I mean, that was really smart. That was very smart, man. And you know, you can always keep those folks. I know the next thing comes up is people want to know, are you shoveling snow?
Yeah, I've been
You
asked that.
know, huh?
I've been asked that.
Right. And that's a little different from landscaping, but it's a service that a lot of people want. But
Offer, right.
yeah,
I don't shovel snow. There's two reasons why I don't shovel snow, and both have to do with the cold. I don't like the cold, so I'm not gonna get out.
I
Mine,
don't blame you, brother.
my mother's, do my
Right,
father-in-law.
right.
I'll let somebody else
No,
have that.
yeah, I don't blame. And it's like, you know, landscaping is an art. You
Yes,
know, I mean, when you look at the beauty behind when you do what you do and whatever you were doing at the house, and someone looked at the picture and said, "Oh my God, you got skills, you got talent."
right.
Snow, you know, what you gonna do? Make a snowman? You know, and right. You risk getting injured out there doing that snow stuff.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. It's again, it's cold. That's the first thing. But the other thing is, a lot of injuries happen out there. Between ice, slip and fall, injure your back, and you can injure your back doing landscaping also, but not as easily as you can hurt yourself doing
The
snow.
only thing that I would do, Java, is if I know how to operate, one of those trucks, and I'm just pushing after you send
Yeah,
that money
right,
to
right,
my
right,
Zelle. Once
right.
the money hit the Zelle account or cash out, then I'm gonna go and push that snow away from your driveway, off your driveway, from in front of your house. I'll do that. I'm inside the truck, a warm truck.
Right,
I'm
right.
not getting out with the shovel. But tell us some more things about the business that we need to know. What else about this fitness business that we need to know, and the audience?
Well, what I'd like your viewers to know about Getting Better Fitness is that I pride myself on being personable, and I'm not that trainer that's going to curse you out. I'm not that trainer that's going to work you till you vomit. I'm going to meet you at your level best, and we're going to grow from there together. Whatever that is, you can only do one crunch. That's good for me. If you can't do a push up, we'll learn how to do them together. We'll start off
Uh-huh.
them off the wall. So they need to know, one, that Getting Better Fitness is just that place where they can get better. That's the whole point of Getting Better Fitness. And you have to start somewhere. So I like to think that GBF is your start point. And if you grow beyond us to the point where you want to do something else, where you want to start powerlifting or something like that, I will give you a good enough foundation to do that. If you want to start competing in something, I'll give you a good enough foundation to do that as well. That's what I do. I meet people at their level best. And the word better is an acronym. It means breaking every tie that endangers reality.
I
Whatever
love
that,
it. I
whatever is
love it.
endangering your reality. In my gym, I believe that you can break that tie, whether it's a food addiction, whether it's being having a sedentary lifestyle, whether it's health conditions. I've had people come in there on all kinds of medication. They work out with me for a good year, coming off the medication. Doctors taking them off things left and right because that's what we do. We make people better, make them stronger, make them faster.
And a lot of people, they come to you for weight issues, or is that the main? You didn't say that. So, but what are some of the major reasons people come in, and how do you help people when it comes to weight loss and etc.?
Well, unfortunately, especially in the Black community, one of the biggest problems that we have is that folks like to do fitness as a quick fix. So I've got a trip coming up. I need to go and get
Oh boy.
my birthday coming up. We have reasons to go lose weight. So they'll come in with that whole thing. Well, I'm going on a cruise. I'm going to the Cincinnati Music Fest. Whatever it is, they're coming in with that reason. That's all I need is the reason. I need your why. And then I'm going to have to try to re-educate you as to why that should not be your only reason. That's your reason for now. But what about for next year? What about for next month? So we have to change the mindset, change the narrative, get them to understand that fitness should be an everyday thing. So in my
A
gym,
lifestyle, a lifestyle.
exactly, that's exactly what I was going to, a lifestyle. Because I have people that get excited when they make it to the gym 3 days a week. Like, oh man, I made it 3 days this week. And so I applaud them. But then I tell them, I say, you know, white folks, they work out every day. They plan their day around their workout. You go by the beach, you see them up and down the beach every day. They're getting something in, walk, bike ride, jog, something every day. But we get excited over, I did it 3 days a week. So we have to change the narrative. We have to change the thought process behind exercise. And when they come, that's what we do. We start changing the thought process. I get them to understand what it means to be in a caloric deficit, how to manage your calories, how to watch your sugar intake. You know, we start educating on those things, and then it becomes a lifestyle. You know, you can't take a person who hasn't really worked out good or anything since high school, eating whatever they want since high school, and say, okay, now today you're this fitness expert, and you got to work out every day. You got to, just like the food addiction, you got to go slow into it. And as you teach people how to manage their food, manage their weight, manage their portion, that becomes a lifestyle, and that's how they're able to maintain their weight loss over time. They don't. I don't tell people you got to stay with me forever. You know, I'd love for you to, but I'm going to give you tools where all you got to do is employ them. You're gonna be able to maintain weight. It's like anything else.
Yeah. I heard someone say that abs are made in the kitchen, not the health club.
Yes, they are.
It's a combination. Say abs are made in the kitchen, not the health club.
You can lose weight just by eating right. You don't have to pick up one dumbbell. You don't got to get on nothing. You ain't got to no exercise. Eat right.
And you do strength training too, right?
Say again.
Do you do strength training?
Yes. Strength training. So
aerobics. Do you do any kind of aerobics? Swim like people in water, or what is your specialty more so?
Specialty is circuit training. Circuit training is my specialty. I can take a space as big as a garage, and I can train 20 people in that garage, and in a circle. Everybody's doing something different. Boom, boom, boom. Circuits moving around. That's my specialty.
Nice.
You space. I don't need any equipment. I can work you out right here. The space as big as your coffee table, and you never know you had you wouldn't think that that could be done in that spot.
Well, I'm sure there was a question up there about people with obesity and heart condition. I'm sure you have people sign waivers and etc. And so that there's some transparency where you know what you're working with as it relates to people that I'm sure you don't have a problem with obesity because you've been there and you know exactly how, like you said, you help people where they are. But if a person have any type of medical issues, etc., I'm sure you have them to provide you information so you'll know exactly how to work them out in terms of safety wise.
Well, there is one of the first things that I ask people when I first meet them and they're getting ready to start working out with me. I said, "Is there anything health wise I need to know about you?" This is where we start building our rapport, and this is where I learn about you. Do you have any problems with your heart? Any problems with your lungs? Any problems with your face? Any problems with your knees, your back? And then I lighten the mood and I say, any problems with your mind? You know, and sometimes people chuckle. Sometimes people say, no, everything's good. So if they tell me they have a heart problem, then we need to discuss. My question goes to, have you been cleared by your physician to do exercise? If so, I'd like to see that documentation. When I get that documentation, that will tell me what that person can do, what level of stress that their body can handle. Usually a person that comes see me with a heart condition has already been through rehab. If they've had any type of surgery or anything like that, they've been through the cardio rehab and they want to step it up. So we kind of go through the doctor's protocol when it comes to that. Whatever the doctor says, you have a heart problem, lung problems, I stay strictly on that. And I take it slow because a person with issues, you can't push them into stuff. You can't just jump them in because this is what we're going to do. Have them doing 100,000 mountain climbers and jumping jacks and burpees. This person is one, obese. Two, because of the obesity, they probably have joint issues and back issues. You cannot expect that person to do what a person 200 pounds lighter do. So we start off very simple. We're going to stand up and sit down. We're going to walk. We're going to walk in a circle.
Good.
Legs are heavy enough that if you just lift your legs a few times up and down from a seated position, you will feel the stress on your body. Where we're just lifting our arms up and down, open and close, until that person's body becomes acclimated with movement. And then as they start getting stronger, then we start doing a little bit more, just a little bit more every single time, a little bit more. And then they start getting this competitive nature. Just all of a sudden, this person who had a hard time standing up turns into a person that says, I want to see, can I run this instead of walking this? Okay, take a few steps. And they'll start running.
Last question.
Okay.
Man, you are excellent. How much? What's the cost? Look, that's the number one question, because there are a lot of people out there, trust me, know that they need this, want this. Listening to you, I'm inspired. I know other people are inspired. And people want to know, Jav, what is the cost? Is there payment plans? No.
All right. Here's how this goes. I have two options, boot camp or personal training. If you come to my boot camp, and don't let the term boot camp scare you. There's all different fitness levels in that class. That meets Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6:30. Vaccinated only. Okay. If you come to that, get ready. Hold your horses. It's only $65. Now everybody and their mama can find $65 for their fitness, and you're gonna get a good 45-minute workout 3 days a week. All you gotta do is show up. All you gotta do is show up. $65. You can come 3 days a week for 4 weeks, and then see what your body does. If your body is getting good results, if you want to go a little bit deeper and you want to do personal training, then you can reach out to me for personal training. I have 3 packages of personal training available: 8 sessions, 12 sessions, or 16 sessions. Now, personal training is more semi-personal than maybe one other person there with you, but you do have your own focus from me. Or you can, if you must have a situation where it's just you, I can set that up as well. Now, on personal training, I don't require vaccinations because there are not as many people. And if it's a personal training situation, you can stand over there and I can stand over here and I can still train if you're not vaccinated. So those 3 packages, 8 sessions is $475, 12 sessions is $575, or 16 sessions for $675. Now, that's where I'm here with you. We're talking about your form, we're talking about how to properly exercise, get a meal plan, all that stuff is involved in it.
Beautiful. Where can people find you, contact you, etc.? We got a couple of more minutes, about 1 minute or 2. So give us the address where people can find you, because I'm sure less folks will be knocking at that door, calling that phone number.
You go on Facebook and look up Getting Better Fitness, and you can see it all on there. If you go on Google and look up Getting Better Fitness, well, our Google reviews will pop up. We were a 5-star rated gym last time I checked, but I haven't looked at it in a while. I'll go back and look. Or you can reach me at my cell phone number, 773-419-0823. Again, that's 773-419-0823. We are located at 400 West 76th Street in Chicago, Illinois. And again, the name of the business is Getting Better Fitness, GBF short.
And folks, I'm getting ready to make Java laugh, because I always have a joke. While you are on your way to the business, slow down on that block.
Right. You're right about that. They have a speed camera over there, and that thing big bucks for the.
You're right. Slow down. Don't rush to get to the gym. You need that $65, that money, because you are going to get a ticket. And on school days, go 20.
Take your time.
20 till you get across that street. But man, thank you so much. I love this interview. We needed this interview. We got to do a part 2.
Absolutely.
I think you've said everything that needs to be said. Support this organization is all about supporting Black business.
Yes.
RRGBC is to repair, restore, and grow Black business. And I hope that from your experience here, we're going to have all of the interviews that we've had and the great businesses out there to come together again at some point and offer all of the service people, because we're going to have to lean on each other, Brother Java. That's
Absolutely.
what's happening. In the next year or so, we're going to need each other. So, man, thank you so very much. Thank your wife, your daughter, your family, and all of your clients for continuing to support you and others like you. You're a blessing to our community. I've seen you in action. Elaine, my girl Elaine Haywood, she love you. I mean, I know. I mean, you are so dependable, brother. You show up and then you show out.
I try.
So, oh yeah, the music is the bomb, y'all. Let me tell you something. His brother have the real music when he's doing his thing. So anyway, brother, peace and love. Have a wonderful night, man, and look forward to talking with you again and seeing you soon.
Gregory, thank you so much for having me. And to all of your
Oh,
viewers.
brother, you're welcome.
Thank
Peace.
You.